What's up, fuckers, and welcome back to another offseason rebuild here on NBA 2K21 at Next Gen. Today, we're going to be doing the Utah Jazz. Now, I was actually going to do this one yesterday, but obviously with everything that happened with the 76ers, all the Ben Simmons slander, I thought it'd be good enough to get that rebuild out yesterday. So, we're going to be doing the Jazz today. Obviously, we're a 1 seed in the Western Conference, basically throughout the entire regular season. I know the Suns were up there at one point, but obviously the Jazz ended up, technically winning the regular season of the Western Conference and did lose in the Western Conference semifinals in 7 games to a Kawhi Leonard-less Los Angeles Clippers team. So, something's got to change about this. I'm not, going to sit here and really get into slandering guys too much. I think that's really dumb, especially in 2K. People just don't play like they do, in real life in 2K. That's why I actually make some of the moves that I do make, because, again, you can figure out what works in 2K and what doesn't. A perfect example of that is the fact that I have to sim the entire 2020-2021 NBA season to get to this offseason, and the Jazz ended up going 31-51 and being a 13 seed here in the Western Conference. Just kind of shows you how realistic 2K is per se. So we're going to get into this one, but before we do, if you guys are new around here, I would appreciate it a ton if you guys could subscribe. You guys have been doing super well lately with new subs every day, and I really love growing this audience that we have. Really love growing this community. So, and if you guys want to see any more offseason rebuilds, let me know down below in the comment section. As always, let's see if we can get 150 likes in this video. So let's get into this one. We'll hop up to league meetings right now. We're just going to go ahead and reject all those pretty much as always. Draft lottery. Do we have a lottery pick? Okay, so we're projected number 7. Obviously, the Utah Jazz are not going to have... Wow, we actually hopped up to number 4. We're obviously not going to have the 4th overall pick in real life. Not that, again, this isn't a realistic rebuild at all, but it would definitely be giving me a very big head start if I went ahead and used that 4th overall pick. So I believe, record-wise, they probably should be... Did they have more wins than the 76ers? Because it's probably either 29 or 30, whatever it is. So I'm going to figure that out exactly. I'm not just going to swap whatever team has the 30th or 29th pick, because, again, they're probably going to not be so much of a lottery team themselves, but I'll be back. From what I've been able to find, I believe they technically do have the 30th overall pick in the upcoming draft. I went ahead and gave myself that 30th overall pick. No, I did not swap pick 4 for number 30. I made a couple moves, kind of put some teams in some more realistic spots, but again, nothing's perfect or what it's actually going to be in real life. But that's the state of 2K. So Steph signing right now. Quinn Snyder definitely made some questionable coaching decisions throughout these playoffs, but again, he definitely has the ratings here in 2K. And I don't think he's going to be fired in real life as well. So that being said, it definitely doesn't hurt to maybe get a couple better assistants. Obviously, Utah, not exactly a huge market team here, so kind of got to be a little budget conscious. So Trent Peterson I'll try to get, and I'll try to go ahead and get my boy Owen Masters as well. So I'm able to get all those guys. I'll maybe sign Owen Taylor as well. Cool, we get him, and then, whatever, it's a CFO. So, we're up to the NBA draft now. We obviously do, as I mentioned, now have the 30th overall pick. We also have pick 10 in the second round from the Golden State Warriors. I have no idea what trade that is from. Could be something small, could be something big. But, I'm probably going to draft somebody at 30. You guys have been telling me recently a lot that you guys actually, prefer when I go ahead and actually use my later first-round picks. It's not bad. Here's my thing about that is, that I appreciate, your feedback and stuff, and I understand where you're coming from saying, switch up the players that, you draft from time to time, because I get it. I wouldn't want to watch a video that I do, you draft the same 4 or 5 guys every single time. I get that. But, when I go ahead and draft some of these guys, at pick, 20 plus, anything, lower than that, I guess, technically, it's extremely rare that they're ever going to be as high of an overall as I need them to in order to be in my rotation. So that's just kind of my point on that one. Again, we're trying to win a championship in 3 years here. We don't have time to go ahead and develop these guys year after year. But I will go ahead and draft somebody at number 30. I'm not going to use my second round pick because, again, I don't really need 2 guys. But so we'll go ahead and trade this second round pick. Just, it's fine. Future swap. And let's see the summary so far. I just take a quick look. Cunningham, Green, Suggs, Mobley, Zaire Williams, kind of what everybody thinks. Kuminga did not go top 5. So we can look at some overall. I know a lot of you guys are telling me to do this as well. It's not that big of a difference. I mean, everybody's a B-. So, I know I'm not saying prospect ranking is the best thing. I get that you guys want to see me do an overall. Let's see what we got here. Obviously, Mike Conley, Donovan Mitchell, Joe Ingles, Bojan Bogdanovic, Rudy Gobert. So, obviously, nobody we're drafting here is going to be in the starting lineup. But I guess I'm probably just going to take best prospect available. 18 years old, Jaden Springer from Tennessee. Why not? Again, I don't really know a ton about this draft class. If you guys have anybody you want me to see or you want to see me draft more in the later rounds, you can tell me down below. But again, I kind of gave you my thoughts on lower picks. So, Juwan Morgan not going to be getting a qualifying offer from me. So let's take a look at this roster as it stands right now. Conley's obviously a free agent. A lot of shooting guards here. I think we're definitely going to be trading Matt Thomas and me, Oni. Again, just because we don't really need him. We do have Jordan Clarkson here, 6th man of the year, Jordan Clarkson. I don't mind Joe Ingles. I just don't think he, necessarily plays extremely well in this game. And, I think he's probably going to start regressing, again, on a pretty good contract, but he probably will start, hitting that regression point by the start of next year. Honestly, same goes with Bohan. It sucks, man. These two are obviously lethal from three-pointer. And then, Rudy Gobert is here. He got a lot of slander. I'm not here really to do that right now, but we'll cross that road when we get there. I think Azubuike is probably going to be my backup center for the rest of the video. So, Derek Favors could be in some sort of bigger trade. So, that being said, let's go ahead, probably try to re-sign Mike Conley right now. Again, we don't really have any money, so we're probably not going to be signing anybody big. But, Mike Conley definitely does need to come back. He has no offers. I can probably, I'm probably going to give him around 23, maybe 23 and a half a year just because I might have to match him up with, a bigger name point guard at some point in time just because he is a little bit on the older side, and 2K, as you all know, is not very nice on the regression department. So we do need to figure out a new backup point guard. I think I'm going to probably get a first-round pick for these two. Definitely could be in a bigger trade as well. But I'll see you guys with whatever move I do make. First trade here, me, Oni's going to be heading to Chicago for a first-round pick. I tried to make a bigger trade. Unfortunately, it just wasn't happening. We didn't have a lot of first-round picks. And again, I do think some of these teams tend to value, the first-round picks a little more than the bench players. So we're going to go ahead and just kind of keep doing this. Again, doesn't really need to be anybody crazy or any crazy first-round picks we get. I actually think I'm going to move Royce O'Neal. I'm going to, give the nod to Elijah Hughes. 23 versus 28, definitely making a little bit less money. So I think Royce O'Neal definitely could be on his way out as well. And he's probably going to be the final guy we do move. So we're going to get one more first-round pick, maybe from the Heat are probably going to get. Maybe from the New York Knicks. They're occasionally bad when they don't, sign a big-name free agent. So those are kind of the smaller-end deals we were going to do there, and I think we're probably going to go ahead and try to hit some sort of home run right now. So here's the move. It's going to be with the Toronto Raptors. Kind of a little bit of a new situation here for Pascal Siakam. I don't know exactly his numbers, but again, it probably wasn't the year that exactly a lot of Raptors fans were looking for out of Siakam, but Mr. Spin Move himself is going to be coming to Utah. Bojan Bogdanovic goes over as well. So obviously Siakam is going to be our starting power forward. We do have to give up 2 first-round picks, but we get our boy Utah Watanabe back. Watanabe. I don't know. We're just going to get a first-round pick for him. Again, I probably am just never going to use him, and kind of reloading on first-round picks is something that's pretty important to me. So this is so tempting. This is seriously so tempting. What's his contract? He has another year of team control. I feel like it's almost like I do want to use Elijah Hughes, but this is almost just like too funny. Like have the man that just absolutely baptized your whole franchise that really wasn't even supposed to be playing. Yeah, we're going to do that. Welcome to the team, Terrence Mann. I think I'm probably just going to roll with him again. Terrence Mann's also only a year older, very similar contract. So, get a first-round pick for Elijah Hughes, who probably just wasn't really going to be used on this team as well. So, man, oh, man, you'll love to see it. So, this is probably going to be another 10-man rotation team. Obviously Donovan Mitchell is probably our best player, but our best bench piece here is Jordan Clarkson. So, I definitely still continue to have him off the bench. So, we need a backup power forward, a backup point guard. Not a ton of flexibility money-wise. Could sign Hernan Gomez. Haven't signed him in a minute. Could move him down to that backup power forward spot. I think I'm probably going to go ahead and do that. Move him down. He actually goes up to an 80 overall. And then the shooting guard spot is probably nothing tremendous. So we're probably going to try to do some sort of sign-in trade here with Ilyasova. And now we're going to go ahead and move him. And we'll do just 2 second-round picks. I don't feel a need to include a first-round pick for, my backup point guard. So Carson Edwards sucks balls. Ooh, Jay Crowder would low-key be a good addition. I actually really like the idea of bringing. He was in Utah, correct? Yeah, bringing Jay Crowder back to Utah. We're going to do that. We also have to include a trade exception. Unfortunately, I know we just signed Hernan Gomez, but I actually really like the pickup of Jay Crowder. I think he can definitely stretch the floor a little bit more. So now we're looking for some sort of backup shooting guard, or excuse me, point guard here. Josh Giddey, no. Oh, brother. It's always when I'm looking for a specific position, I can really never find it. Theo Malden's fine by me. All right. This is the squad. We added a little bit of youth to the bench. I think that's not a bad idea whatsoever. And, we got a nice couple of veterans in here as well. So this is the squad we're going to be rolling with, and I will see you guys at the start of year number 1. So we're all set here for the start of year number 1 with this team right now. So obviously just one major change to the starting lineup. That is inserting Pascal Siakam next to Rudy Gobert. It's going to be an interesting fit. But again, this is, I think that's something people really need to understand. When I make moves, I'm not really thinking about it from a realistic perspective. You can figure out what works in 2K relatively simple. So, people yelled at me the other day because they said Derek Favors isn't a power forward. 1, he used to be a power forward. I legitimately hate to break it to you if you started watching the NBA as soon as Zion joined. And 2, it's 2K. You can legitimately do whatever you want. So, hate to break it to you. Mike Conley, Donovan Mitchell, the best picture I've ever seen of Joe Ingles. I don't know who the fuck actually approved this. Like, what? Pascal Siakam and Rudy Gobert. Bench unit, Jordan Clarkson, Theo Malden, Jay Crowder, Terrence Mann. Jazz franchise owner, and Udoka Azubuike. I think this team's definitely significantly improved. I think the bench, definitely a nice couple pieces in here. Crowder, man. I think Theo Maughan has a decent amount of potential as well. So, let's see what happens. I will see you guys at the end of year number 1. We wrap up year number 1 here for us in Utah, a 5 seed in the Western Conference. Honestly, not that bad. I think some of these guys are definitely going. Pascal Siakam's one of those weird guys that I've done this multiple times before. You trade for him in the first offseason. He's an 85 overall. By the start of the, I guess technically the second season normally, he's an 84, and by the end of the video, he's an 89. I don't really know how it works, but so we'll see about him. But I'm gonna have to work with Joe Ingles again. His overall definitely took a decrease. He went down 3 overalls in 1 offseason. So again, that's just 2K. That's not even his fault. But nonetheless, Joel Embiid, your MVP, Cade Rookie of the Year, also does win 6-man. What? Is like they seriously can't figure out a way to play him and Shea next to each other there? It's just crazy to me. Isaac, Luka Doncic most improved. What were his numbers? Is this the glitch that happens? What is this like? Is it just me, or have you been noticing significantly more glitches coming into 2K? Like, what is this? It's annoying, some of the smaller glitches, like the aspect of somebody that wasn't even on your team averaging 13 points a game. But putting Luka Doncic on a completely different team, or whether he was on there or not, is just kind of crazy. Like, why is that starting to happen? I've never noticed that in older 2Ks. Please let me know down below if you've ever noticed that. Stan Van's fat ass coach of the year, 55 and 27. He's not even a head coach for the Pelicans anymore. So we got a Utah. We're Utah. We got Memphis here in the first round. We look at some numbers on the year. Donovan Mitchell, tremendous. Pascal Siakam, again, very, very solid numbers. Mike Conley. All right, bro. Might be time to move on from you if you're going to be putting up those numbers. Rudy Gobert wasn't bad. Again, kind of just Rudy Gobert-esque numbers. What the hell is up with Conley right now? Weird. Rebounds was Rudy Gobert, and again, Conley 5 assists a game, which is pretty much on par for his career. Something around, between 4.5 and 6 is typically around where he is. So Memphis, we got Ja Morant, Desmond Bane, DeMar DeRozan, which would be, I swear to God, I've actually seen people on Twitter projecting this would be a good signing for the Grizzlies. This would be the stupidest fucking thing you could ever do. Why? You have a very solid young core. You legitimately beat the Golden State Warriors. Look, I know they were hurt. With Steph Curry, one of the best players in the world, to get to the play-in tournament. Obviously, it really didn't work out. Utah ended up beating them in the playoffs, but you have a solid core right now. Why would you go out and sign DeMar DeRozan, who just doesn't fit your timeline whatsoever? I'm just saying that because I've seen the rumors out there, and again, these aren't coming from verified reporters or anything, but people floating out ideas, man, that are just absolutely crazy. League meetings, no thank you, and no thank you. So draft lottery now, we're obviously probably, I actually think I saw Utah. Oh, Houston, maybe it's a swap worse. We probably don't actually have that pick. All right, okay, we do. We have pick 8 here. Staff signing, Quinn Snyder, I'm fine with. I'll give him one more season. Again, I don't think he's bad here in 2K. I don't really think he's a bad coach in head life. I don't think he's a bad head coach in real life necessarily. I think he just made some questionable decisions, especially in the playoffs. So I think it's time to move on from Mike Conley. As much as I could use this 8th overall pick, our timeline, especially these 3, is kind of a win now. I mean, obviously more so these 2 than Donovan Mitchell, but again, let's see what sort of trades we can get into here. So we got a pretty interesting deal here with San Antonio that I'm actually going to go ahead and do. We're going to pick up Jalen Suggs from him, who was obviously just drafted in the 2021 NBA draft. Why they're offering me this trade, obviously we're including the 8th overall pick, but they're also including their unprotected pick in 2 years, which is probably going to have tremendous value after, they just had the 3rd overall pick. So we're going to do that trade. Might be a little bit iffy, but again, I think, getting younger, him and Theo Maughan probably going to battle for that starting spot. And again, Theo Maughan is actually pretty good for us as well. So going to definitely have to decide, but as of now, we don't have any other first-round picks this year or second-round picks or anything. No, we do not. We will head up to team player options. Malden, Terrence Mann, and Udoka Azubuike all coming back. Qualifying, we have none. I don't believe we have any big free. Is Rudy Gobert a free agent? No, he's not. Okay, so it's just Joe Ingles. Definitely could be in the sign and trade department with Joe Ingles. I think it's probably time to kind of go all in with his team, kind of fully commit. So he's probably going to be the guy. I mean, again, we don't have any money. We have a mid-level exception. So I'm going to probably give Joe Ingles around maybe $17 million a year, which again, I know is a crazy overpay. I'm legitimately only, oh wow, we actually have a pretty big trade exception on Conley as well. It's actually very huge. I'm doing this with Joe Ingles just because I want to match him up with a larger contract. So I think it's probably time to move on from, again, 2K, kind of unfair with some of his regression history, I'd say, but let's go ahead and make a trade. So we're going to try to get Karis LeVert here from the Indiana Pacers. I tried to trade for some bigger guys. Unfortunately, Joe Ingles' trade value just really isn't there these days. So we're going to try to go ahead and get this done with just simply first-round picks. Again, I don't really want to give 4 first-round picks for for Caris LeVert, who I do think is a very solid NBA player. I just don't know if, again, we probably don't really have any other options. So LeVert's going to slide into that small forward spot for me. He's going to start there. We obviously, again, don't really get him a ton, so I am excited to use him. But we're definitely probably going to be in a 10-man rotation once again, and I'm excited to see what this team can do. So we're still at a pretty interesting spot with this team in terms of depth. We still have a decent amount of depth, so I'm still going to be going with the 10-man rotation, as I mentioned. I am going to start Jalen Suggs. Again, it was obviously between him and now new 6-man Theo Malden there. So, 11, 2.5, and 4 versus, 10.5, 1, and 2.5. So, I mean, a little bit better numbers, I'd say, for Jalen Suggs. I think he probably does have a little bit more potential. I think he's probably going to be a very high pick in this upcoming draft. So, we will see. But he's going to be our option for now. Again, really two really solid young point guards, so really probably couldn't go wrong. But obviously, whatever that year from Conley was last year was just not it. So, Suggs, Donovan Mitchell, Caris LeVert, a new addition to Pascal Siakam, Rudy Gobert, bench unit, Theo Malden, Jordan Clarkson, Nodoka Azubuike, Jay Crowder, and Terrence Mann. Let's see what happened with oh my God. Let's see what can happen with this team. I'll see you guys at the end of year number 2. Year number 2 wraps up. We are a 4 seed here in the West, number 7 in the power rankings. Again, kind of taking that one step further to hopefully winning a first round matchup. We bump up 1 seed. Luka with crazy numbers, your MVP, Paolo Banchero, rookie of the year for the Minnesota Timberwolves, Kira Lewis Jr., Giannis Antetokounmpo, Jalen Smith, and Stan Van Fat wins Coach of the Year once again. So we got Denver in the first round, in my opinion, an even harder first round matchup than last year. You can take a look at some numbers right now. Malden and Suggs, wow, okay. Well, I mean, more points. Suggs had more assists. We'll have to decide. I mean, again, they're probably both on a very similar trajectory right now. But we'll cross the road when we get there. So, rebounds went to Gobert and assists went to Jalen Suggs. So we take a look at the starting 5 here for Denver. They brought in Grayson Allen. I hate Grayson Allen. Okay, interesting starting 5. Wow, you got Jalen Johnson coming off the bench. He fell to 26. He's not the 26th best prospect in the NBA. There's no way. He's higher than that, definitely. Okay, we lose in 6. All right, it is time to make some changes here. I might just blow this whole thing the fuck up. The Pelicans winning back. I mean, are you kidding me, 2K? It's one of these rebuilds. It's going to be like that. It's just one of those days, I guess. So, draft lottery, we traded a lot of picks for Caris LeVert, so we probably don't have anything. Toronto Raptors end up with the number 1 overall pick. Staff signing, I think it's time to probably move on. Head scout, I mean, I'm not really worried about that. I do want to definitely budget my money. So Nick Nurse has some really solid ratings. Again, he's probably not going to accept that just because he tends to not accept it when, yeah. Okay, so we're going to sign Steven Silas, new guy in here. Jacob Daly, okay, fuck you. Thorpe, I mean, again, I'm paying them not nearly as much money as they normally get, but it's just my scout. I don't really care. So we're up to the NBA draft. I'm not going to really be drafting anybody. So furthermore, my scout really doesn't even matter. Team player options here. What? Why would those options be declined? Like, just rationalize that for me, 2K. Like, please rationalize that. Crazy, man. All right. Caris LeVert's obviously a free agent. We have to pay him a lot of money to bring him back. I would like to bring back Terrence Mann. I think he's solid off the bench. I think Crowder's solid off the bench as well. I mean, two really solid players, I would say. Okay. We're going to get all 3 of those guys back. Obviously, very important. Can't just lose all our depth right there. So, but we definitely need to make some sort of move. And whatever that may be, I will see you guys with it. So it's very highly likely this might come back and bite me in the ass. I actually prefer another scoring center on this team, or not another, but a scoring center on this team. So we're going to pull the trigger on it. I moved Rudy Gobert to power forward. His overall just went up. That's the only reason I really did it. We have to get rid of Azubuike, but we do get Robert Woodard, the second back. Karl Anthony Towns coming in. Obviously, these two are guys, their games aren't really comparable at all. They're not even close to the same type of center, but I'm excited to see what can happen here. Bring in another scoring option typically tends to work out for me. So, that being said, I think Robert Woodard, or maybe, I mean, honestly, not a crazy idea to maybe go ahead and move on from Crowder. I know we just re-signed him, but we definitely could look for, like, I really do think this team definitely could benefit from maybe a 10 or a 9-man rotation. I think maybe moving on from Jordan Clarkson, who's 31 now, seemingly has regressed for us every year, definitely could be a good option. So let's see what we can do here. So a little bit of a smaller move potentially. Theo Malden, again, isn't bad for us, but Killian Hayes just puts up tremendous numbers in this game. I mean, 19 points, 3.5 boards, 9.5 assists, 1.5 steals a game. I mean, I mention it all the time. He's so undervalued, especially in this game, and I really think that he's probably going to be a really good starting point guard for us. So, Jalen Suggs obviously played well for us last year. I didn't have a problem with the way he played, but I think Killian Hayes is definitely going to take us that little bit of a next level. So, he's going to be our starting point guard. I think Clarkson's probably going to now go ahead and get me a new backup center. We are pretty much going to call it a rebuild in terms of the trades we are going to make. So, let's go ahead and see some options for a nice backup center. Jaleel Okafor, not a chance. Cody Zeller is probably as good as it's going to get in the backup center department. I don't really think I'm going to get offered anybody that much better. So, Sean Holmes is here. I'm probably still going to go with Zeller just because, again, I don't get Rashawn Holmes a ton, but I actually, Cody Zeller, I mean, look at those numbers. He was fantastic. I mean, I'm sure he was probably starting, but yeah. I'm still going to take him. We're all set. I will see you guys at the start of the third and final season. All right, year number 3 here in Utah for us. We've obviously made some very significant changes, especially to this starting lineup. We inserted Killian Hayes into the starting point guard spot, and Karl Anthony Towns is taking over for Rudy Gobert. I'm assuming Jazz fans are probably going to kill me now that we really don't have a very good defensive-minded center. Karl Anthony Towns, not exactly known for his defense. Neither is Cody Zeller, really, so we might be lacking at that area, but again, at the end of the day, we're just going to go, we're just going to figure it out, man. We just got to score more points than the other team. We're just going to go full, I guess Houston Rockets mode on them right there. Mike D'Antoni. All right, Killian Hayes, Donovan Mitchell, Caris LeVert, Pascal Siakam, and Karl Anthony Towns. A very offensive-minded starting 5, to say the least. Jalen Suggs, Cody Zeller, Terrence Mann, Robert Woodard II is our bench. We got the Caruso here as well in case we do need him. All right, we have not been higher than a 4 seed. We have not even won a single first-round playoff matchup. Hopefully that changes this year and we go out and win a championship. Sounds kind of crazy, but I'll see you guys at the end of the third and final year. So I actually caught our record before we stopped simming year number 3. We wrapped it up with going 59-23, so just under 60 games. Obviously puts us in a 1 spot here in the Western Conference. John Morant, MVP. You can take a look at his numbers right there. Quentin Grimes, Rookie of the Year. Christian Wood, 6th man. And now in Portland, Jonathan Isaac, Nick Richards, and Steven Silas does win Coach of the Year for us. So again, whether or not, the trades I made, the moves I made, pan out for us in terms of a championship, I still think this was probably our best team yet. So I'm happy with what we did, whether or not it works out. Donovan Mitchell, Karl Anthony Towns, Killian Hayes, Caris LeVert, Pascal Siakam. Again, definitely got for that scoring I was looking for. Rebounds went to Towns, and assists was Killian Hayes, just under 9 a game. He's really good. Jamal Murray, Grayson Allen, Porter Jr., Aaron Gordon, Robert Williams. You lost Nikola Jokic, man. That's pretty much a killer for a franchise, I'd say. We go on to win in 5. New Orleans, the 2-time defending NBA champions, who now have Kemba Walker on their team. I don't get that signing whatsoever, but let's see what happens. Wow, we win in 5. Us in Houston, Garland, Luke Kennard, Josh Hart, Larry Marketing, and Chet Holmgren. Wow, they have really 2 nice, really young centers right there. They're good, but really? Okay. Us in the Toronto Raptors, Malachi Flynn, Fred VanVleet, OG Anunoby, Brandon Huntley Hatfield. I have no idea who you are. You're a first overall pick. Okay, and Jaren Jackson Jr. All right, let's see what happens here in the NBA Finals, and we do win, man. Donovan Mitchell. Okay, thank God. I knew some people in my comments are probably going to be a little bit upset that I went ahead. Oh, wow. Did LeBron retire? Oh, wow. I'll be. Okay, just accidentally clicked on that. But, again, you can question the moves we made, but at the end of the day, it did work out, so I'm not really ever going to, complain when that does happen. So, Donovan Mitchell finally gets a championship. You love to see it. So Utah Jazz offseason rebuild is finally complete. You guys can let me know if you want to see any other offseason rebuilds down below in my comment section. As always, my Twitter DMs are always open if you do want to see those as well. But yeah, that pretty much wraps up this one. Again, I'm looking forward to the rest of the the NBA playoffs. We got 2 conference finals matchups that are both looking like they're going to be pretty solid. So you can also let me know your predictions down below in the comments section. So that pretty much wraps this one up. As always, if you guys are new around here, it really does help me out a ton if you guys do subscribe to the channel. I mean, if the more subscribers I get, the more YouTube's more likely to put my videos on people's recommended pages. So I know it's weird, but it actually does help out a ton, that and likes. So seriously, I do appreciate it. I love you guys. I'll see you guys on the next one.